massive pickups video coming your way! I recently did a trade with my friend Kispy for a few PS1 titles, so I had an extra copy of Skyward Sword for the Wii because I recently, if you remember, found an extra copy at Goodwill that was pristine and an upgrade for my copy. So naturally, I'm like, hey, this is up for trade, and he jumped right on that. Now, another thing that I had that he was interested in was L.A. Noire for 360. I already own that game for the Switch. A great game, by the way. One of my favorites by Rockstar. You should definitely check it out. It's jank and all. So that's the two things that I traded for these. Now, this was an equal trade through on through. So let's go ahead and dive into the PlayStation 1 games. Yes, what did you think I was trading for? PlayStation! Mainly whenever I trade stuff, I try to stick to PS1, PS2, or sometimes PS3 stuff. It just really depends. But those are the three main things that I look for whenever it comes to trading stuff. And let's dive into these. So first one is Driver. Yes, I say Driver like that because I suck ass at Driver. I used to be able to get out of the parking lot. Now, no. So now I have this completo box for my collection, and this is a nice copy of that. And the final one, this is one I've never played. I love the Metal Gear Solid games, but this is one I've never played in the series, and that's Metal Gear Solid, the VR missions. I don't know what the hell this is. I don't know if it's extra missions or what the hell, but can't wait to give this a try. This is something that I was not expecting. This is not a game. This is totally out of the spectrum of what you're thinking. So a friend of mine, Duke for Prez, sent me a surprise gift for my throne list, because you could do surprise gifts that way, so you don't know what the hell you're getting. So I'm like, oh fuck, what the hell? And when I got it, I'm like, what the hell is this? And I got something pretty special. I got some nuts in the mail, but not just any nuts. These big nuts. So I got my own set of nuts! Eat for 'em. This is actually a parody, an adult book, and it is so fucking hilarious. It's not what you think. Trust me, let me read the back and let me emphasize on what this is. Sit back and enjoy this children's book parody about a squirrel named D and his friend's love for his big nuts. Each page will have you laughing and going nuts. An opportunity arose to get more Dreamcast stuff. My buddy Jason, aka Game Rave, definitely check out his YouTube channel. If you want PlayStation knowledge, he is the channel to watch because he knows a lot more than I do whenever it comes to PlayStation. And anyway, so going into this, he was actually selling off a couple of his Dreamcast games, and he reached out to me. So I'm like, yes, because as you all know, I am loosely collecting for Dreamcast. I just get stuff here and there, and I wanted to know what he had on the cheaper end, because there's still a lot that I don't have on that spectrum because I don't see him very often. So here's the pile that I got, so let's get into it. Now, this one's not really a cheap one. It's like mid-tier. This is Bomberman Online. I've actually never played this one before, but I've heard good things, so I can't wait to check this out. Apparently, I'm going to have to hook up my Dreamcast again to get some more playtime in with some of this stuff. And then, of course, the lower end tier stuff. We have MTV Skateboarding. We also have Sega NCAA 2K2 College Football. And then, of course, we have Striker Pro 2000. And then, of course, NFL QB Club 2001. Treasure the Pirates of the Bay to see what I can add to my PlayStation 1 collection today. Yes, I did actually scour the waters of eBay to see what I could find for my PlayStation 1 collection, and I found two things. So they were nicely priced, so I had to jump on these, and one of them I was looking for a while, and that goes to Finks. Now, Finks the Adventure is one that I paid about 15 bucks for. It is a unique title. So you're trying to restore peace to the world Magnetica. Yes, Magnetica. Now, there's a reason why it's called that, because your little dude Finks is actually magnetic. So whenever you're trying to battle enemies, you literally have to change from north to south. So polar opposites of what you're trying to fight to actually cancel out the magnetism whenever it comes to that. It is a very weird concept for a game, but very interesting. I did not get very far because even though it's a unique concept, it's still freaking difficult to maneuver. So I may give this more of a go at some point. But right now, I'll leave it behind for other stuff. Now, the next one that I got, I've been looking for Disney titles. There's still a few I don't have. And of course, the Dalmatians titles are one thing that I wanted to get for my collection. Because I played some demos of those too, but I didn't have it. But now I got it. I think, now this one was different. Now, I bought this in two parts. I bought, the disc loose, and then I bought the case and manual by itself. So typically, I think I paid about $5 for the disc, and then about $5 for the actual case and manual. So, and it invested like 10 bucks in the whole thing, which is a hell of a deal for this, because I think it runs about 20 bucks. This is 101 Dalmatians 2 Patches London Adventure. This addition to my PS1 collection is probably the greatest one of the year for me, because someone in the community from YouTube, my friend ACDC, a member of my community, reached out to me asking about Claudelka. Now, I didn't have Claudelka. I know that it's the prequel to Shadow Hearts. I played the Shadow Hearts games, so of course I was interested. He DM'd me, asked me if I was interested. I said yes. Asked him how much he wanted for it. He said nothing. I'm like, what? I'm like, hold on now. Claudelka's a really expensive title. I think it's about like $300 or so. So it's not a really cheap game to get, and it's not really common to see this one. So I was like, oh, okay. So I wanted to know how he actually got the game because he said that there was a story behind it. So I'm actually going to retell it from what I remember him telling me. So he was at a flea market or like a yard sale, one of those two, and he actually was digging through a box of DVDs and CDs. He ended up finding this in there, and he asked the guy how much he wanted for it, and guess what? It's only $1 for this. Now, there is some cosmetic damage to it. There's a crack on the back. There is water damage to the actual manual. As you can see right through here, yeah, you can see the way it is. But that doesn't matter to me. Whenever I get stuff, it's always, as long as it plays, condition is not really a big thing for me. Because like I've said many, many times, every game needs a home. Even stuff that's not in great condition. And as long as it works, because I play all the stuff I get. Because I'm aiming to play every single PS1 game that I own. And I've played quite a bit of them. So I'm working on that backlog as long as hell. Now, I couldn't just take it for nothing. And even though I really appreciated it because that is a huge kindness to do someone, is to give them something this expensive. And he's already been kind enough, watching my videos and being a great member of the community. That's enough for me. I never expect anything from anyone. And when people do this and go out of their way to actually be this nice, that means a lot to me. So I did ask him what he was looking for. He did mention a game, and he doesn't know this yet. He actually mentioned he was looking for Trap Gunner for PS2. Well, AC/DC, I found a copy. I'm waiting for it to get to me, so that way I can make sure it's in good shape and test it out. And once I do, man, it's coming your way. So, surprise. Back to PlayStation, including PS2, and one big-ass thing that I was really excited to get. So, these are from a friend of mine to add to my collection for my birthday. Hooray! So, let's dive in. I've been on a Barbie kick lately. I've been wanting to play most of the Barbie games for PS1 and PS2. I just recently beat and played this one. This is Barbie as the Island Princess. This is basically just full of mini games. You're trying to make her the princess. Basically, with the prince. It's actually a really cute little game, and it's not very long. So, I did it in one stream. It was okay. Now, this one I did play too. Now, you all know I'm a big fan of DBZ. I love Dragon Ball Z. I've been a fan forever. It's my favorite anime of all time. There are some games that I have not played. It's mainly like the ones on PS1 I had never played before. And this one was one of those. Now, this is DBZ Ultimate Battle 22 for PS1. Man, this is not what I thought it was. It's basically just a 2D fighter, and then that's it. You have the roster. Yes, you can put the secret code in to get the Ultimate Battle 27, which people told me what the code was, and I looked it up too. It took me a minute to actually input that shit, but I got it. But man, this game is boring as hell. I'd rather play Budokai Tenkaichi than this shit. It is not worth playing. It is a really shitty game, but I got it. I played it. I still need to get Final Bout and play that for PS1, but I've heard it's about the same as Ultimate Battle 22, but I'll find out when I get to it. But it's still cool to see the characters I like from the anime, so it's at least a win. Now this one, I just finished. I beat this one. It was a relatively short game, and I got the damn bad ending. Apparently there's like 6 fucking endings for this game. 6 endings! But this game is pretty much like, think of like Sonic and Donkey Kong Country. It's a ripoff of both of those. When you play it, you'll actually see what I mean. I'm actually going to do an announcement concerning this game. So someone actually told me that this would be a good title for a series because we were talking about what kind of stuff I could do for the new year for 2025. I've been thinking of other content. People keep telling me to do playthroughs and stuff. Well, I typically save the playthroughs and stuff for Twitch, mainly whenever I do, game playthroughs. However, I can do a compromise with that. I can still upload VODs and things if y'all want to see that. Definitely comment below and let me know if you all want to see like the VODs from Twitch. If you can't make it over there, if you can, come on over. But anyway, I thought about doing something like I'll play these games so you don't have to. The PlayStation 1 edition, something along those lines. And of course, one I wanted to start out with was Pinobi. Now, I just played this, but I'm going to play it again and it's kind of like a review / playthrough. I'm playing it so you don't have to, so that way you can actually experience it vicariously through me. Unless you want to play it yourself, then more power to you. Now, this is one I would recommend playing. Now, some of these games that I'm going to do in this series I don't recommend you play, but you know, it's going to be like a little bit of this, a little bit of that whenever it comes to the series. So stay tuned for more of that. It'll be definitely epic. You'll see me and you'll see the game at the same time. So it's kind of like a let's play almost. I'm just not going to play completely through because some of these games are long as shit. But you know, still a little bit of a snippet here and there will be a good thing for viewing for y'all. Anyway, moving back on to this game. Now, Panobi, or Emobi, as I like to call him, man, whatever. That's literally how he is in this game. So he's a little bee, and basically what happens is his grandpa gets kidnapped. So what's your job? Your job is to go save grandpa. Well, guess what? You have like different, I think there's like about 8 worlds that you have to go through. And there's a secret level. There's also one called In the Tummy. And then the last one that I was able to get to was the robotic world before I got my ending. Now, like I said, there's 6 endings. I don't know how to exactly unlock them all because, like I said, first playthrough of this. So the unique thing about this is, you know, it's not like the gameplay because it is actually a really pretty game, you know, with the graphics for this. It's definitely one a lot of people probably have not heard of. And like I said, it's a ripoff of Sonic and also a ripoff of Donkey Kong Country. Whenever you play the levels, you'll definitely see, especially like the little cannons, it kind of looks like the barrel levels from Donkey Kong Country. And the way that you have to collect like certain like little flowers reminds me of Sonic with the rings. So definitely it's the ripoffs of both of those. Now, the unique thing about this game that makes me like it is the diary entries, because after you beat each level, he literally inputs diary entries, and some of them are fucking hilarious. He's like, whatever, I don't care. You can't deal with it. It's literally hilarious with this dialogue. Hudson Soft made this game, and I'm like, what the hell is happening? This is what I miss about the 90s. I miss the times when people took chances and made shit like this, and it was so fucking over the top and hilarious and horrible at the same time, but definitely worth it. So, if you want to check this out, definitely, but stay tuned for, you know, I'll play it so you don't have to edition of this, you know, coming soon to YouTube near you! Now, the last thing that I want to show that my buddy got me was this. Now, this is the big one. Get ready. This is one. Now, I saw this at Torg in their museum. I had never seen it before. I'm like, holy shit, look, it looks so cool. I like box stuff for PlayStation 1 and PS2. Y'all know that. One thing that has eluded me for a long time is a gun con, a light gun. I didn't have one, and now I do. And that is the heater. Apparently this is one that a lot of people say is really good, and it is compatible with other stuff. I've been trying to find the Time Crisis bundle for PS1 for a decent price because it's, oh, holy shit, it's expensive, and that's why I don't own Time Crisis yet, is because of that. But, you know, I may make an exception since I have this now. This thing looks freaking sick as hell. It's by Newbie, so I'm not really sure how, you know, good it works, but I've heard good things about the heater. And like I said, this one of those unique things is like, well, does it heat up or what the fuck does it do? I don't know. Why is it called the heater? But I'm glad to have it in my collection. It's actually a really solid box too, from what I can see. So I'll definitely have to test this out at some point. Everybody's wondering what I picked up whenever I went game hunting last week. Whenever I went to Gaming Co. Page 3. Well, guess what? Here you go! I'm about to show you everything that I picked up from my collection from PlayStation 1 to Dreamcast. Let's dive into it. So first off, we're going to start out with Page 3. Now, Page 3 has, you know, honestly, it doesn't have as much as it used to. Before Gaming Co. came in, that was the place to be. Everyone would pile in there. You know, people would look for games. They had massive amounts of stuff. They still have things, but not nearly as big as what they are. They've actually transitioned to selling other stuff other than games now. But I still find things there, and it's a great store. I love going there whenever I go to Pikeville. And I suggest, if you're in that area, you definitely check out Page 3. The owner is a great guy, and I can't wait to tell this story about one of the things that I picked up. So, one thing, of course, like I mentioned earlier, Disney titles, gotta get them, there's still a few I'm missing. So, this is another one I picked up, the 102 Dalmatians, Puppies to the Rescue. I think there's only 2 Dalmatian games for PlayStation 1, and now I have them both. I think I paid about $14 for this. That's underpriced. I think it normally goes for about $20, and it's in really good shape, so hell yeah. Now, I didn't get a lot at Page 3. Like I said, there's not too much to get there that I don't already have. However, you all know me whenever it comes to boxed PlayStation stuff. If it's something I don't have, I gotta get it. And I am on the track to try to get all the racing wheels for PlayStation 1. I think you know where this is going. If you watched that last video, you saw what I was looking at. I got it. Now, let me grab this thing because this thing is huge! Alright. Oh gosh. Oh, it's a big boy! That is the V3 racing wheel. So this is the one. Now, funny thing, before I get into it, Gaming Co. had this too. but they had it loose, and I think they wanted way more than what I paid for it. So I'm glad I got it at page 3 because this box is immaculate. Look at that. So there's the side. I haven't decided where I'm going to put it yet because I've already got, this makes my 3rd racing wheel that I have. Whenever I get racing wheels or anything like this as far as accessories go, I try to find them in the box if possible because I just like to display them. Yeah, I do use them too, so I've already used the other 2. Because some of these racing wheels, fun fact, they're not all compatible with all racing games. Only some are compatible with some games and some not the other. So it's like a trial and error thing. There is a list of out there that actually shows what games are compatible with what racing wheel. I think there's one more I still need to get for my collection, and then after I think I have them all. Yeah, that's what it looks like. Holy shit. This is like the optimum, like the cream of the crop whenever it comes to racing wheels. But holy crap, let me put this thing down. It's heavy. Woo! Get my gains. Now, story about how I got it. So, whenever I was looking around, I saw stuff in the case. I saw racing wheels. I'm like, $40? Woo! That's expensive, at least to me for a racing wheel. Something, I'm like, especially loose like that. I'm like, I'll pass on it. However, in that little, I call it the magical corner of page 3 because this is where I find all my box stuff for some reason. That's where I found my other racing wheel that I got from them because one racing wheel came from them for $15. The other one that I had by Madcast came from Goodwill for $10. And they're both boxed. And the Goodwill box has seen better days, but the one that I got from them that was $15, like I think last year, is pristine, like this one. And naturally, guess what was in that corner? That. So I'm like, ooh, but there was no price on it this time. I'm like, okay, well, these are $40. I wonder how much this is in the box. I wasn't sure. So when it was about the time to check out, I asked him, I'm like, hey, how much do you want for this one? He's like, I want $50. I'm like, He's like, he saw my face. He's like, okay, wait a minute. He looked in the case to see how much the other ones were going for. He's like, okay, I can do 39 since these are going for that. I'm like, would you do 30? He's like, you know what? Yeah, it's been sitting here for a while. Let's do it. He was really nice. I was so happy to actually get a deal on that because, one, it's in great shape, and then 2, it had been sitting there for a while, and it's going to come to a great home, which is my game room. Gaming Co. This is where I bought the most, if you can't tell. I typically do buy more at Gaming Co. than page 3 because they have a lot more as far as, like, games go. But man, did they change things up around this time in the store. Normally, the Dreamcast games are behind the counter. This time, they arranged it to where they're actually in the far back, next to, like, where the posters and stuff were, which I'm like, I can see them better because, when you're trying to lean across the counter, I'm like, I can't see, especially with my peepers. I'm getting too old for that shit. So I saw that they had a lot more Dreamcast stuff than normal because, as I've stated many times over, Dreamcast is not really common here. I don't see a lot of it. It's like maybe 1 or 2 here, but holy shit, they had a lot. And they had titles that I was looking for. So let's go ahead and drive. We're going to drive into Dreamcast. Pun intended, because one of these games is actually about driving. That's funny. Now, this one I've been looking for a while, and that's Pin Pin. Pin Pin looks really cute. I don't know anything about this game. It looks like a colorful kind of platformer, some kind of kids game, so I'll definitely give this a try whenever I can. This one I paid $30 for, so not bad, especially for the condition. Now, this one is one that I sat on. I want to mention one thing. So I did take stuff to trade whenever I went to Gaming Co. I took my extra copy of Tamagotchi Life, and I took a few other things. And I got the amount that I was expecting whenever I got my trading credit, which was about $151, which that's a pretty good amount for trading credit because Tamagotchi Life was the big one that I took because, as I've said before, I bought that game at launch, so I already had a copy, and the one that I found at Goodwill, I'm like, I wanted to see if anyone in the community wanted it first. No one jumped on it, so I went ahead and took it for trade because why the hell not? I get games with it! So, anyway, moving on. So, everything here is from that trade credit except one game, and that's the one I'm about to talk about. So, I was looking in the case. They had Clock Tower 2, $410. Holy crap. They had God Hand, which, I was like, but nah. Clock Tower 2 is one I want to get, but $410 is a little bit much for me to drop on a game like that. I've seen it there before. I think they had it for like $350 a long time ago until someone bought it, but I'm like, what the hell did it go up in price? I have no idea, but that game is definitely a rare one to see as far as the Clock Tower series. I have them all, but that one, I'll eventually get it. Now, looked at the bottom and I saw Dreamcast stuff. I already have Marvel vs. Capcom 2, but I didn't have, I should say, Power Stone. Now, I have Power Stone 2. Power Stone means a lot to me as far as Dreamcast goes. It was the very first Dreamcast game I ever played at my buddy's house because I didn't have one growing up. I didn't buy my first Dreamcast until I was in my early 20s. So naturally, you know, I want the game that I started it all for me was as far as my love for Dreamcast, because that is my favorite Sega system. I'm not really a big Sega girl, minus Dreamcast, and I like my Saturn too. I'm not really a Sega Genesis girl. Not really my thing. Even though that's the only Sega console I had growing up, I still prefer Dreamcast because this is just a lot more fun. Anyway, so I saw Power Stone. I'm like, well, I don't have it anymore. I need to get it. They wanted $100 for it. Now, I did pay up for it because typically Power Stone does go for about 80 to 85 bucks. And the condition this was in, I was okay with paying up for it. And let me tell you something. I've said this before. Whenever I go to retro game stores, I'm okay with spending a little bit more in the store because it helps their store. You know, it helps them, you know, get some money back into, you know, the store, and helps them, you know, get more inventory and things like that. And plus, I don't go there very often. I'd rather spend more in a store than pay some, you know, random ass, you know, person online money for stuff versus a game store that I like a lot. And I can actually visually and physically hold the disc in my hand versus like hoping and praying to fuck that it literally looks okay like it does online whenever I get the thing. Because, you know, maybe it doesn't, because I've had that happen before. I had that happen with one of my PS1 demos. I think it was Interactive Sampler 7. I bought it. It looked fine. This is from eBay too, by the way. It looks fine. No scratches. When I get it, it was scratched off to hell. You damn well know I left a fucking negative review on that asshole because he did not take a proper photo of that thing. And it doesn't work really. It freezes and everything. That's one of the demos that I have that literally does not want to work. I need to get it resurfaced. Yes, I will resurface a demo because I like demo discs. Anyway, moving on. So I paid up for Power Stone. Happy to have it in my collection again. It is a nice copy. Power Stone is definitely one of my favorite games to play as far as series go. Did you know there's an animated series of Power Stone? Now, I have a couple of episodes on DVD of Power Stone, but not a lot of people know that. So definitely check that out if you like anime. Now, I mentioned driving before. Now, here's a story about this. You may have seen in the previous video, previously, that I was on the fence about getting this for PS2. When I saw it on Dreamcast, I shifted gears. What's with all the driving jokes? I don't know. That's how my brain works. I like puns. What can I say? I literally knew I had to get this. So I think I paid $20 for this. And I think on PS2 it was 10, but I'll pay up for this. It's Dreamcast. Hell fucking yeah. This is 18-wheeler American Pro Trucker. I cannot wait to play this. I have never played this before in my life, but I am ready to hook my damn Dreamcast back up and fucking play and stream this thing. It's gonna be a hell of a fun time. I like streaming weird ass shit like that. It's always fun to experience stuff like that for the first time with people. I do that a lot. A lot of this stuff in my collection, whether it be PlayStation or Dreamcast, because Dreamcast, I only played like a select few titles, so there's still a lot that I still need to actually experience. I love experiencing with people for, you know, on a first-hand basis. Moving on to PlayStation, here we go! Like I said, it was a PlayStation. Whenever I made that video, it was a day for Dreamcast, because, as I said, don't really see a lot, but still picked up PlayStation 1. As always, I think I paid about $8 for this. This is Dave Marrero Freestyle BMX. It looks cool, but not really anything, you know, I'm like, whoa, but had to have it. Fisherman's Bait 2, big old bass. I like me some fishing games, especially since I have the PS1 fishing controller. I love playing with that thing when I get a chance. I've been looking for this one for a while. I liked Chicken Run, the movie, so I was really excited whenever I finally found the game. I paid $15 for this, and it's in really good shape, so there you go. This one was, I think, $8. This is Mobile Armor. I don't know what the fuck it is, but I needed it, so I picked it up. Okay. Back on the subject of Barbie. Now, I finally bought this. I have been trying to find it under $20. I had never been successful. So a lot of this, I've come to the realization that I'm going to have to start buying stuff and not be able to wait too much longer for deals because, you know, they're just going to take forever and not going to happen. And this is one of those cases because now that I'm deeper in my collection, I'm over 800 and some. I think it's like 845, I believe, right now. I don't know. I have to literally look at the number to see. But it's up there. So it's inching closer to 900. Goal is to get 1,000 next year. I will do it. It's going to happen. So this one I finally got. It was the last Barbie game I needed for PlayStation 1. I had only played a demo of this, and the demo seemed alright, but when I played the full-fledged game, this game is ass on a fucking dipstick. What the fuck? I've beaten all the other Barbie games on PlayStation 1. I finally beat Barbie Detective, and I didn't like that one, but I managed to fucking get through it. This one, I don't know, man. This is literally like Tomb Raider, but Barbie edition, and that's Barbie Explorer for PS1. Now, I paid $20 for it. Like I said, I couldn't find it below that. And it's in nice shape, so I went ahead and, got it. And while I finish it, I don't know. It's just janky. It's like, you pull one thing and then you have to wait for another. It's just not, it's definitely jankier than Tomb Raider. Tomb Raider is like, on a pedestal compared to this piece of shit. Now, I got this one next. It is N2O. I think I paid about $10 for this one. I don't know what the hell this is. I'm not really sure. And that's it for the pickups from Gaming Co. and all across the board. That's what I got for my birthday whenever I went game hunting. That's from friends. That's from viewers, followers, the whole shebang. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. It's been fun sharing my experiences with y'all, talking stories, telling things as they come along, showing you my pickups for the PlayStation 1 collection. This will be the last video of 2024, and I hope you all have had a great year watching my content. Stay tuned for big things in 2025, and as always, this is the PlayStation Girl signing out. Game on!